What is up, Robot Wars, BattleBots, and Bugglebots fans alike? Hardcore Kid here with another edition of the Hardcore Podcast. I just got done celebrating my birthday with a little fighting robots up at the Norwalk Havoc event. I ended up taking third again, and I came home with a Apple laptop from 1993 that doesn't work. Anybody want an Apple computer?
Congratulations.
Don't worry, I'll get that $1,000 someday.
Hey, I'll take it off your hands if I can get that see if I can try and get that sucker to work.
Do you want the PS Triple as well? It also doesn't work.
I've already got one.
Yeah. So also joining me, also just celebrated his birthday, it's Otaku Nate.
Gotta get the bread and milk. I gotta get the bread and milk. They said snow. I gotta get the bread and milk.
Hey, at least they gave us time to get bread and milk. We've only had like one snow day so far this year.
It's said to be a real mild winter, but that's not at my department.
A little laggy. Yeah, so who do we have joining us tonight, Nate?
Well, we've managed to land our first German guest, or I should say our first guest from mainland Europe, for that matter.
Nice.
That as in outside of the United Kingdom. He had the most powerful beetle axe I have seen ever, really, and one that I think should be an example for anyone who wants to build a Beetleweight axe bot. It is Ralf Schneider from ANXT.
Hi guys.
Hi, how's it going?
Yeah, fine. It's a bit late here in Germany, but yeah, still up.
Yeah. You're about what, 6 hours ahead?
Possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's good having you on here. We're a big fan of ANXT. And yeah, but also joining us, we have a very special guest joining us. If you remember Firestorm from the earlier series of Robot Wars, he was on the Firestorm team from Series 2 through 5. He left after Series 5, but he has since returned to the robot combat sport. It is Alex Mordue.
Oh, hi.
Hi, how's it going?
Pretty good. Not as late as Germany, but yeah. Still quite late.
Yeah, we're very excited to have you on the show. We're big fans of Firestorm. It's kind of a pity Graham sort of took your spotlight a little bit, didn't he?
I mean, I was contributing less and less to the team because it was that time when we were both off at university, whereas he was staying down in Durham. I went off to Edinburgh, so I couldn't really help out as much as I wanted to. So yeah. They definitely deserved all the sort of success they got in the subsequent years after I left the team.
Yeah, but we're happy to see you back doing some robot fighting again, and
yeah,
you brought us.
Yeah, me too.
You built a really cool machine, and we'll talk about it in a little bit, but. We'll talk about this episode. This was episode 5 of Bugglebots, the last heat of the first season. And I'm going to say this right now. This was my favorite episode so far.
Mine too.
Yeah, it was lots of destruction, some very cool designs, some cool matches, and a very deserved heat winner, I think. It is K2.
K2. Egg Beta.
And if you haven't noticed by the picture, that is in fact a FingerTech drum that you see on the front there. You can actually get those as part of a kit, or have it just the drum and the motor itself as a setup from the FingerTech website. Don't worry, I'm going to get that sponsor eventually. Yeah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, K2, really solid performance throughout, I think.
Yeah. It just kept on going, and it seemed to be maybe having a little bit of trouble at the end, but sadly it didn't come soon enough for me.
Nah. Yeah, but I think it did some nice hits, and
oh yeah,
like those FingerTech drums, they do quite a bit of damage, and yeah, I don't think it's a full kit, but it does look like one of the. But it's got 4-wheel drive, and it's got It's got a little wedge at the front, so
Mhm.
real powerful. What'd you think of it, Nate?
I love this thing. I'd say this is my pick to win the series, if I must be honest. If it manages to defeat Captain Doom, I say this is your winner. This is your series winner right here.
I think it's got the equipment for it. It's got the wedge to get underneath the wedge.
Wedge.
Yeah. And if you really want it, you really need to fight something like Captain Doom as a knight. You need something that's low to get underneath the wedge, and you need something to be able to get under, rip up the wheels, rip up the top. But yeah, K2 definitely good showing. Anything else to say, Ralf? What do you think of K2?
Yeah, it was a really, really clean build and very nicely done, pretty reliable, and yeah, I was pretty worried to fight it because I fought some other four-wheel drive drum spinners over in Europe and that didn't go too well either. And yeah, very deserved heat win.
Yeah. Anything else to say, Alex?
Yeah, I mean it was really really well built. I think he's actually got a two-wheel drive version of it as well.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, went with the four-wheel drive one for Bugglebots, and yeah, really seems really reliable, and yeah, dishes out some good hits.
Yeah, so this we'll see how this one goes. They're through to the grand final, but they had it was a solid showing throughout, but they did have some tough robots to face, including the Heat runner-up, Saw Loser.
Saw Loser. The weapon is in the name.
Yeah, Saw Loser. Really like this bot, and Alex, this was your bot. What can you tell us about it?
I can tell you as much as you want to know.
Everything!
So yeah, I made it specifically for Bugglebots because yeah, I hadn't done any robot combat for a long time, and yeah, just wanted to make something that was a bit different. Started off just making a regular sort of vert, two-wheel drive vert, and then went, actually, no, I want to make something a bit different. But by that point, I'd already bought some parts, so I kind of went, okay, how can I make these parts actually do something different? And yeah, that's how I ended up, making that thing.
It kind of looks like a combination of Whiplash from BattleBots and Cyclone from Robot Wars Extreme Warriors, with the combination of the four-wheel drive and the disc, and also how the disc articulates.
I would say it's more Whiplash meets Scorpios or Sawblaze.
Yes, something like that.
Yeah, those were both. Yeah, I mean, Sawblaze and Whiplash were both influences because obviously at the beginning of last year we had BattleBots Season 3 was airing, and saw both of those and went, oh, those are really cool. I'd like to sort of make something that's maybe a bit like those, but yeah, got a bit carried away because I was like, oh, I'm going to make a Sawbot, and then I was like, okay, well, I actually want to have a direct drive on the Saw, but then it's like, okay, now I need to maybe make it a bit beefier, and then it ended up not really being a Saw at all.
It became a Sisk, a Srisk.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. I really like this thing, and it's 3D printed.
Yep, yeah, it's all 3D printed. Well, I mean, obviously the metal parts aren't 3D printed, but all the plastic parts are 3D printed from nylon, just on a regular fused filament fabrication style printer. So yeah, nothing fancy, no SLS or anything like that. No carbon fiber infill or anything like that. It's just all mostly pure nylon.
Yeah, held up very well. It took some hits from K2, but kept on going. And
yeah, direct hits to the wheels.
Durable machine.
Axles.
Yeah.
I mean, for a robot who they said its biggest weakness was the armor, this thing stood up to some serious punishment.
Yeah. I mean, the titanium certainly helps on the front, but taking direct hits on the body seemed good.
Ralf, what do you think of Saw Loser?
Yeah, pretty, very well built, very well engineered, and Alex was probably the best prepared person out there. He had the most spares and everything. Yeah, and the machine just beautiful. A lot of people, and I think that includes Alex, almost expected it to explode on through to its own power because those parts were really thin. On the arm, you can see the shape of the infill.
Mm.
So thin are those. It's crazy. Yeah, and it certainly packed a punch, as we could see in the Zero Gravitas fight. Amazing, amazing machine.
Yes. I was thinking of something. What was I thinking? Oh, I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, you'll probably remember it as we take a look at the next robot in this heat. Zero Gravitas. Gator Bot.
So essentially, it's a wedge with a grabby thingamajig on it.
Clamper.
A clamper.
It's another evil staple remover.
Yes, it's basically a Beetleweight Kraken, but with the little.
Only
grabby
without
thing.
the airbag.
I don't know. Could you fit an airbag into that?
No, you couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's solid. It was solid until Saul Loser came along and made pieces
Yeah.
of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I absolutely adore this machine. It's a great design, unique weapon. This is how you make a Beetleweight crusher. I would love to see something like this on the U.S. Beetle circuit.
I think that you could pull something off.
I think my biggest gripe, though, is that the jaw doesn't open wide enough. Like, it has the perfect wedge for it to fit under opponents, but the jaws don't open wide enough.
I think it's wide enough to grab onto some low bots, because it could probably grab onto like Pinwheel or K2, but
Captain Doom.
I do not. Soul Loser.
I don't see it grabbing Captain Doom, but yeah, it's a nice simple design. And anything else to say about Zero Gravitas? Ralf, what'd you think of it?
As you've said, it's a very solid bot, and I believe it was even his first bot in the Beetleweight class, at least. I believe he's done some end stuff before, and yeah,
nice.
It's a great first effort for the weight class, if I do say so myself.
I do love he has listed under weaknesses vertical spinners, and yeah.
Remember that for later.
Yeah. Oh dear, I hope he doesn't face any vertical spinners in this heat.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. But yeah. Alex, what'd you think of Zero? Did we asked you about Zero Gravitas? Did we?
Not yet. No.
No. What'd you think?
It's very well built, very well armored, and yeah, I think if it got a hold of a wheel, things could have gone differently, and yeah, I mean it could really grab onto things and really control the fights, but yeah, sadly we didn't really see it working to its full potential. But I think Chris has plans for a new design which looks pretty cool, so yeah, excited to see that.
Nice. Yeah, so I think that covers Zero Gravitas. We'll move on to we have an axe robot in this episode. I think you know who it is, Ralf. It is ANXT.
Never heard of that bot before. No.
ANXT. Axe Bot. And a damn fine one at that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not easy to build a Beetleweight axe, but I think you did a pretty good job with this one.
Yeah, thanks. I've had a previous version of this a few years ago, and I pretty much ironed out the bugs of that version and put the things that worked into this one, and it turned out rather well.
So what goes into this robot? What powers the axe?
The axe is powered by a sensored brushless motor for an RC car. 540 sized motor, so pretty big for a Beetleweight. And the gearbox is based off a drill. So it uses the internals but in a custom housing to save some space. Because a drill is ridiculously big for a Beetleweight.
And it's got some speed to it as well. What powers the drive motors?
The drive motors are a pretty uncommon or weird setup. It's some low KV multi-star outrunners with a single stage gearbox only. Because personally I didn't have the best of luck with the common Beetleweight gearboxes.
Yeah, but essentially, it's driven by the same kind of motors that are used for spinning weapons, like outrunners and inrunners and such. So
Exactly, yeah.
so lots of good speed and a decent axe. It's just a shame that it seemed to be having some. What caused the robot to stop?
Depends on the fight. On the first fight, it was via going to the power distribution to the drive ECs and the power lights and the Arduino. So the low power stuff, that wire broke. And in the second fight against K2, it was slightly more weird. The wire going to the battery jiggled out of the robot at the bottom, and then his beater cut off one of the battery connectors.
Ouch.
Oh.
It's always going to be that one simple wire.
Weird stuff happens in the arena.
Yeah, weird things happen, but sometimes it's either positive or sometimes a negative. But get it? Positive, negative, like a battery has a positive and a negative wire. Yeah, yeah. I am a comedian, as you can tell by my very downbeat voice. But yeah, ANXT. I like the look of it. When it was working, it was fun to see. So, and I hope to see more of it. Are you attending any events in the future with ANXT?
Well, I'm planning to do some mods and then enter it into Bugglebots Season 2 if it happens. I don't think I'll get it ready for the Bristol event in February because there are some things to improve, like anti-drum armor and some magnets. I wonder why I need those.
It's always good to have spares.
How do they work?
Magnets, how do they work? Yeah, it's always good to have spares. But yeah, ANXT, really good design, made it to the second round, and so we'll move on to the first round losers, and let's start off with Pinwheel.
Pinwheel, Tombstone knockoff.
If I had a drink for how many people on YouTube have looked up the Robot Wars videos and said, "Oh, Tombstone would own all these UK machines." Yeah, well, I just took a drink right now. But yeah, Pinwheel. Yeah, it's basically it's basically every horizontal Beetleweight spinner I've seen. It's got the.
It reminds me of that one you fought at Bot Blast Circuit Breaker.
Yeah, it's basically it's not an undercutter, it's not an overcutter, it's just a midway spinner, and it's got the little it's got one of those nylon belt thingies that's used to power the blade. Like like some of these spinners, they don't use actual like regular belts. Sometimes they use like these like I originally had an Antweight that had a spinner that had that was made out of a nylon belt, nylon tube thingy. That's kind of like what's powering this thing. So yeah, and it's also apparently to make weight, it's filled with holes.
Speed holes.
Was someone have a machine gun when they were building it, or what?
Somebody got a little carried away with the thumbtacks.
Yeah, but it's just a shame. It just had fought some really good bots in this heat because I think maybe if the blade was had a bit more weight to it, maybe it could do better. But yeah, it just got tossed around by K2, and then in the it just stopped working altogether in the losers melee. So yeah, it's a shame. But yeah, Alex, what did you think of Pinwheel?
I liked it. It's nice to see a horizontal, just a regular horizontal. Because yeah, there weren't actually that many. I'm trying to think the other horizontal spinners. I think the only other horizontals were undercutters. So yeah, nice to see something a bit different.
I was thinking Apex, but that was an overhead.
Yeah, that was an overhead, like slightly angled crazy unstable thing.
We have we have a few horizontals here in the U.S. The big one being JMO's Silent Spring.
And there's also a new one called Squishy, which is just as equally horrifying. So.
Yeah, I saw it on the stream on Sunday at Norwalk. Or was it Saturday? Saturday. Yeah, sorry, Brandon.
He killed my bot.
Yeah, it looked painful.
Yeah, but Pinwheel, I do hope to see more tomb clones, as they like to call them over there, because they can do damage, and especially in the Beetleweight class. I'm trying to think, are there any other tomb clones over there in the UK? I think, but I'm not quite sure. I think I might have seen a few on the Beetleweight circuit, but this is the only one I can think of right now. But
I think there's still Modus Operandi. It was, I believe, originally built by the team that entered Coyote into Robot Wars, and that thing hits hard. And Cosmin from Team Vivo built a nasty machine.
Yeah, I saw some videos of it destroying Christmas decorations.
Bah humbug.
It looked violent. It looked very violent.
Yeah, but Pinwheel, hopefully we'll get to see them back. And so we'll move on to the other first round dropout, Sir Lance-a-Frog.
Sir Lance-a-Frog. Wedge.
From Old King Nicholas Cole comes a robot armed with a flipper, wedge, and the lance thingamajig, which for somehow is...
I completely forgot that it was a lifter, mostly because I've only seen the episode once.
Yeah,
but
we didn't see a whole lot.
It's no Snappy, that's for sure.
And just like Limpet, it has to have the lance sticking out of the side.
Well, it's to fend off spinners in that regard.
And I love the stat board it's got on here. Strengths, no fear attitude. Weakness, no fear attitude.
Okay. Reckless abandon.
Okay, then. Yeah, but it's an interesting design. It has the strong wedge. It just, unfortunately, once it got flipped upside down by Saw Loser, it really couldn't do anything. Yeah, but it's a solid bot, and Nick Cole, he seems like a good chap. He's got a cool beard.
Not as cool as that one guy from Heat 2.
But, are you suggesting they have a beard off?
Well, Nick Cole needs to comb his beard. Let's put it that way.
So, Alex, you fought Sir Lance-a-Frog, and you beat it up. How dare you?
Yeah, how dare I? I like Sir Lance-a-Frog. I like all the art that Nick has been doing as well. He's been doing some really cool drawings and things of like the little mascot guy. And yeah, the bot itself is really cool because I think it's the first robot he's built.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, he's been I think he's been doing pretty well in the Beetleweight competitions in 2018. Yeah, I think he was just unlucky to come up against Saul Loser in the first battle. So yeah.
And Ralph, what do you think of Sir Lance-a-Frog?
Yeah, another very clean build, and as Alex said, it had quite a bit of success in previous competitions. He put really a lot of effort into fine-tuning it for Bugglebots and making it look really nice. He was just a bit unfortunate with the draw.
Hopefully we'll get to see him back and see him in more competitions. So, yeah, that covers all the robots in this episode. So now we'll move on to talking about the matches. And the first match was Saw Loser versus Sir Lance-a-Frog. Alex, what was your strategy going into this match?
Well, I'd driven my robot a bit, and just to make sure it actually goes and doesn't just break down. But yeah, like I said in the episode, I hadn't ever driven it with the weapon on, so I didn't know it gyroed. I mean, I probably should have guessed, but it was basically just hope that the wedge on the arm could get underneath his wedge and get into those tasty insides. But yeah, once he was upside down, there was that was it really.
Mm.
I mean, he couldn't really push me around anymore because his wedge is off the ground, and took a nice few chunks out of it. And yeah, fortunately didn't drive down the pit. It was tempting. It was right there and open, but yeah, we both managed to avoid shaming ourselves.
It's always good when you're fighting a wedge machine. Always make sure that it stays upside down. And
Oh yeah.
get some good hits on it, but don't hit him hard enough to flip him back on his wheels, because then you might have
Yeah.
trouble.
Yeah. Actually,
He hits smart, not hard.
Yeah, that's right. Although I was kind of getting worried towards the end of the battle as well, because I've got feedback of the LiPo voltage to the transmitter, and it was getting really low. And I was like, this doesn't seem right. So yeah, it was a really poor quality LiPo I had in it to start with. But yeah, swapped it out. So yeah, it's good for the next one.
Now, Ralph, what'd you think of this match?
Yeah, sadly, I couldn't see it in person back then because I had to wait outside for the interviews. But yeah, it was a nice match. Went a full 3 minutes, and yeah, had one or two nice good hits in it. And the sound of the loser sounds scary when it grinds on the floor with the blade and everything.
It's got its own death hum. It was a fun match. I'd say it was the second best match of the show.
Number one's going to be coming up soon, but let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Now let's move on to the second match, which was ANXT versus Zero Gravitas. And, well, Ralph, you want to talk us through this match?
Yeah, sure. First, I was pretty happy to have this opponent because no matter what happens, I was pretty sure ANXT would still be in working order after that fight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that didn't turn out quite that, but was only a minor mistake on my side. And yeah, the match itself, I've approached it from a pretty calm perspective and see how it goes. It would clearly turn into a driving match because neither of our weapons has the capability to knock the other one out by damage, or at least it's unlikely. So it went rather well in the beginning. Then there were some moments where he seemed to slowly to had his moments, and yeah, then my robot broke down.
Aw.
Yeah,
that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It's always frustrating when you have a match that you're winning, and then all of a sudden the robot just stops, just for the most bizarre, simplest of reasons.
I gotta say though, that axe has some oomph behind it.
and that was only 50% power.
Ooh, wow!
Ooh.
Holy mackerel! Like, so if
Full power would be backflips or front flips.
be a very self-righteous robot, I think, if it was at full power.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to see it at full power soon.
Full power.
Yeah.
I've got magnets lying here.
Excellent.
Well, yeah, and so Zero Gravitas ended up getting the win. So the third match, K2 versus Pinwheel in a battle of the spinners, vertical versus horizontal, and yeah, it was all K2.
Mm-hmm. K2 was really demonstrating just why it won this heat. It was able to get Pinwheel onto a vulnerable position, and then boof, as John Reed would say.
Boof. I don't remember him saying boof. Is that a new one?
That was from King of Bots.
Oh. Well, there you go, Sarah. There's a new meme for you. Poof. Yeah. But, yeah, K2 gets the win, and we get the three-way losers melee, which gives us the Vote Saxon quote of the night. You know me, I love a good three-way. Oh, Steven. Yeah.
He wishes.
So this match, yeah, ANXT basically showing off its drive power, and Pinwheel stopped early, not sure what happened, and then Sir Lance-a-Frog, basically, this may in fact be the first time I've ever seen somebody lose a match by pinning someone on top of that's under them. You lose via pin. But Yeah.
Gee, I wonder where he learned how to stack robots like that.
Upheaval,
It's
maybe?
so good.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. ANXT put on a very anxious performance here.
Angsty.
Angsty?
Angsty is the... Yeah.
Sorry, my vocabulary is so limited. I blame this Poland spring water. But yeah, Ralf, what'd you think of this? Of course, what'd you think of it? You won.
Yeah, I kind of liked that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us how you what came over you to think, you know what? Maybe I should stack these bots on top of each other. That's a win for me.
Yeah, the one thing is when you fight, the fight feels much slower than it is in real life. Watching the footage, I was amazed by how quick everything happened. Briefly before I stacked the robots on top of each other, I slammed him into the wall, and it felt like, yeah, maybe I could pin him in a position against the wall where he gets stuck. Back in the fight, that felt like 3 or 4 seconds, but in the video it was 1 second or so. And yeah, somehow I got him pinned on top of Pinwheel.
Yes.
Not sure how, but yeah.
Essentially, he got stabbed through a pinwheel. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So ANXT ends up winning the losers melee and goes back into the competition. And oh cripes almighty! Well, which match was first? Was it the Saw loser match or the ANXT match? Do you remember?
All right, I'm moving ahead. All right, you edit out the dead air. The Saw loser match was first.
Can we even call this a match?
I'm just gonna ask you, Alex. Did you expect that to happen?
No, I did not expect that to happen, but I was very happy when it did.
Yeah, it was a very yellow match. Lots of yellow. Just one nice big hit, and yeah, that was it.
Yep.
And because of that, Alex Mordue, you are the official recipient of our John Reed Good Hit of the Night award.
Yay! Yep.
So before we move on to the next fight, there's one last thing I want to note about that three-way.
What?
Hi, Nate Franklin.
Oh, I didn't see him. Maybe I'll watch him again. And
Yeah, I have the episode on as we record, and I'm looking. Whenever in the post fight, you can see him. He's right behind Niels Vanderberg.
let's move on to a game called Spot the Other Nate. Yeah, there's not much else to say about this match. One hit, and that was it.
Woo!
Yeah. I mean, I did ask if he wanted another little tap to turn him over, and he said, "Yeah, sure, give it a go." And then it just sort of made a few sparks, and he was like, "Nah, I'm done, no more."
I almost thought you were gonna spin him out of the arena there.
If he gave him the Suda, that would have been amazing.
Yeah, but some of us are gentlemen, some of us hold back. But so the next match, ANXT versus K2. Ralf, talk us through this match.
Yeah, I knew from the beginning my chances of actually winning this would be rather slim. It's a reliable machine. It's 4-wheel drive. It got
You got some good
traction.
pushes in on there. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, the drive was good, but as soon as he got one of my forks, it was pretty much over.
Mm-hmm.
Those forks, they were rather strong for their thickness. They were 2mm hardox, but still not apparently still not strong enough to go up against a Beetleweight drum spinner. And as soon as they were burnt over, he got good hit after good hit, and yeah.
It seemed like there were some points where you could actually fire the axe and hit his top, but that didn't happen.
Yeah,
was the axe not working, or were you just saving it so that
I feel that he was saving it.
Yeah.
I was I wasn't firing it because I think during those moments I was underneath this weapon, and the momentum of the axe could have turned me into the weapon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's unfortunate, but yeah, K2's a good bot, and ANXT. You know what this actually did? This was like a mini Minotaur versus Blacksmith in a way. the drum spinner versus the axe.
Yeah, but it missed the fire.
Oh well, don't worry.
Yeah, we want fire in season 2.
Don't worry. Well, I'll have some nice juicy lipo batteries exposed.
Yeah, no, you don't. No, you don't. Especially in that building.
No.
Nope.
No. Yeah, but so K2 gets the win and moves on to the Heat final to face Saw Loser. This match ruled.
This was a fantastic match. A real David against Goliath story. But as one of our favorite YouTube stars, Urinating Tree, says, this was unfortunately a fight where one robot had to lose.
But
I don't think we can really do this fight justice, but Alex, walk us through what happened.
So I maybe foolishly decided to go weapon on weapon to start with, because I was like, I've got nice hard ox blade. He's got an aluminium beater. Maybe I can just, I don't know, either deform it a little bit, or maybe get the maybe one of the mountings or bearings or something on the edge it'll catch that and it'll stop spinning. But yeah, it didn't. But then just kept on. Like once the weapon had taken a few hits, I was just like, okay, I'm going for it. Just keep on feeding that weapon into the beta bar and just hope that something breaks. Sadly, what broke was my weapon. So then, just got it out of the way and just started ramming with the titanium plate. I was quite surprised actually that once I started using the plate that the bot didn't get flipped over. It just seemed to, it must just be at just the right angle so that it wasn't really catching. And I was surprised how effective that was. But yeah, you can see in the match that two of the little FingerTech hub, I'm not sure what they're actually called, the little red anodized aluminium bits, they're gone and hold the wheels on K2. Two of those, you can see two of them skittering around the arena, and he was definitely having more trouble with drive towards the end. So yeah, if it had just gone on like another 30 seconds, then maybe the decision would have gone a different way. But yeah, maybe could have got him down the pit.
Maybe.
But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I think what
it was good.
I think what it came down to was essentially damage, because once the weapon was taken out, then K2's weapon still was functional. So I think that when your primary weapon is still able to work, apparently that's what gets the points.
Yep.
Yeah. Ralph, what'd you think of this match?
Amazing fight. Definitely the best fight of this heat. Possibly all the heats. Always amazing when a spinner on spinner fight goes for the 3 minutes and at least one of the weapons keeps on working. A little bit the upper hand in terms of driving and control, but yeah, the damage decided it in the end. And the first minute.
Well, don't worry. At least since Saw Loser was a Heat finalist, you're through to the 5-way melee, the Rumble Bee, as it's called down here. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Really great setup. List of bots showing up in the next episode. So yeah,
there's really there's no obvious winner in that one. I mean, Maximum Overdrive could do it. Snappy, don't count out Snappy. Drizzle, I'm sorry, Tommy, but I feel that Drizzle has too many reliability issues to win it, but we'll see. But I'd say like between Saw Loser and Maximum Overdrive, those two are my favorites.
I think for me, my pick is going to be Snappy, just because it's got the wedge, and I don't know, but wedges usually when you're going up against spin.
It's a lifter too. It's a lifter wedge.
A lifter.
Don't forget that
lifter wedge. So yeah, I don't know. It's probably going to be either Snappy or Saw Loser, Maximum Overdrive. My pick's
you're picking so you're picking the troublesome truck then?
I am picking the troublesome truck face. But that pretty much does it for Heat 5. K2 gets the win. Another spinner wins and goes on to join SCO, Rev 2
SCD.
SCD. SCO. It looks
It's
like
the
an O.
Yeah, pick a better font next time, guys.
SCD, SCU, SCO.
I'm gonna be seeing SCU in a few weeks.
Nice. And so K2, SCD, Rev 2, Limpet, and Captain Doom are through to the Heat final. But since there are only 5 Heat winners, there is still a spot open, and that's going to be decided in the 5-way Rumble Bee between Drizzle, Snappy, Maximum Ogre Drive, Claws 2, and Saw Loser. And that fight is going to be decided in the 5-way melee in the grand final episode.
That's gonna be a bloodbath.
I've heard good things. I've heard a lot of good things about this match. So, yeah, I look forward to seeing it. We'll see how you do, Alex. And yeah. So the grand final is next week. Bugglebots season 1 is ending. No. What are we going to do?
I don't know. Maybe we'll review more Robot Wars Extreme Warriors.
Yeah, we still got.
No.
I don't know. We got the clown. We got the clown coming up, and then we'll have yeah. But yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it an 8. I consider this the best episode of the series so far.
I'll do you one better, and I'll go 8.5.
Alrighty. And I know you guys were in this episode, so no bias. But on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it, Alex? How would you rate it?
It's definitely a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, great introduction back into robot combat. Yeah, really enjoyed it. The whole experience of Bugglebots was just really great.
Alex, we hope to see you more often on the UK robot circuit. Hopefully, more outside the Beatles.
I think it's probably going to be Beatles mostly for now, just because I don't really have space to build anything bigger.
Maybe you'll try your hand at ants.
Ants are okay, but a little fiddly. I like the flexibility. You can get some really well. I mean, not to say that you can't get really interesting designs in ants, but Beetles are just a little bit less fiddly. So yeah, really cool weight class to really sort of play with and innovate and make some like different stuff that in a larger weight class you wouldn't build, because you just be like, well, I'm not going to build something stupid because I want it to be competitive. Whereas Beetles, it's like, well, it doesn't cost as you can build a Beetle for a few £100 that's like whereas like a heavyweight that doesn't even get you a motor. Doesn't even get you a drive motor. So yeah,
I remember back.
It's fun.
Remember back because like Chaos 2 was like it was apparently 250 pounds to build. These days it's 250 pounds for a drive motor.
Yeah, I think George Francis probably had a selection of stuff around his workshop and Rexter's workshop that he could borrow.
I think I feel that's why I like UK robotics so much. Like a lot of these just have that built in a shed feel.
Yeah, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's like these days, like the old Robot Wars. Obviously, you'd see a lot of robots that were made out of like stuff you'd find in a scrapyard, or maybe some stuff you'd find on the side of the road. Today, now you've got entire websites like Robot Marketplace and FingerTech and Kitbots where you can just buy all kinds of motors and everything's available. And yeah, it's much more open now. I think a much broader scale of availability where you can find a site, you can get your ESCs, you can get your motors, you can get your light flights, your just anything is it seems much easier to get a hold of, but except sometimes it's a bit expensive these days, I think.
Yeah, I mean, pretty cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I think what else is there to say? Is there anything to talk about?
The trailer for the
yes,
grand. That was pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
I want to know the editor behind that because that was great.
It was good. I think it was Stephen.
Mm.
Steve and Joe and nope, it's gone.
Yeah.
Sorry, whoever else was helping out with that.
Yeah.
I think they shared on their Facebook who did it.
Mm. Yeah, well, we'll have the if you want to watch this episode.
Well.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you want to check the trailer out, the links are in the description, as well as links to the Bugglebots YouTube channel. Any other plugs?
Well, before we move on, we need to get Ralph's thoughts, and then we're good.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Did we get on a scale of 1 to 10, Ralph? What'd you think of the episode?
Yeah, I'd say either 9 or 10. It was great.
Yeah.
Going into this, even back then, I had no idea who would win this. Everybody could have won the seat if the robot had its day and everything would have been working perfectly with the right amount of luck. So, yeah. No clear winner in sight, and that made it so exciting, to me at least.
Yeah, so next week is the grand final, and also apparently there's going to be a bonus episode with whiteboard matches. So looking forward to seeing that. Maybe we'll see Nate Franklin with Thunderchild competing. So that should be fun. So yeah, it was great having all you guys join us on the podcast today. Sorry.
Thanks for having us.
Sorry for my internet's been having trouble. So if there's any lag, yeah, I'll have to fix it. But thankfully, Nate has his spare OBS as an emergency.
It was MP3 Skype recorder this time, but you're welcome.
Hey, MP3 Skype recorder works too. So yeah, I think we're gonna be using that from now on instead of OBS, because OBS is in fact BS. So.
Yeah. Well, I keep telling you, ask someone to help you with it, man.
They said the same thing. They've been having trouble with it too. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah. Until next week is going to be the grand final.
Woo!
Woo!
Yeah. So we'll have some guests there on there as well. Who do we want to invite? Maybe Tim. Maybe Tom.
Oh
maybe,
yeah.
Maybe we'll have Alex back, or maybe we'll have our commentary duo of Steven and Alistair. Who knows? We'll find out who's available.
Sure, I'd love to join you.
Yeah, we'll have a Skype party. That sounds like fun.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so until next week, I am the Hardcore Kid.
I am Otaku Nate.
I am that Alex Mordue.
I'm the German guy from Bugglebots.
And peace out and cease.
What does everybody want?
What does everybody want?
A kitten.
Head. You're supposed to say head.
Head!